Why should you play Rust console today? Now, if you're asking yourself this question, you've come to the right place. Well, we could all agree Rust console had a rocky start at launch with all the bugs and people bashing on the game's graphics not being in part with the PC version of itself. The game did provide us with something PC didn't, which is playing without any hackers, on top of having access to one of the best survival games in the market. With that said, most of the bugs were coming from the core consoles, meaning the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, or OG Xbox as we like to call it. As you move up a tier like the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, you will see an improvement in graphics. And of course, the PS5 and the Series X, you could also see that the crashes became almost non-existent. Now, a lot of people were upset at this, since the main population of Rust console were from the OG consoles. The bugs and the crashes made them quit, and the lack of monuments and ways to play the game lacked at launch, making it a one-way street, meaning if you don't follow this ABC step-by-step guide, you will more than likely fail in your wipe. Now, a lot of this mindset and jealousy, I would say, comes from the PC version of the game, having things like horses, more monuments, and many more things. But as of now, Rust console, after a year of being out, it sits in a way better place. So if you're thinking of coming back, here are some things you should look forward to. Now, without going too much into detail, the most recent patch have added a lot of quality of life for the OG consoles and making the game way more stable than before, cutting the crashes to a fraction. Of course, there'll always be bugs, but being able to play the game in the OG consoles is amazing in a game of this magnitude. Now, monuments that were added to the game include the oil rigs, where we have both the small oil rig and the large oil rig, where you could get high-end gear, unlike before where the only monument we had was just the launch site. As of the latest patch called Oceanbound, the new event monument called Cargo Ship was added to the game, making it another high-end gear monument being added to the game. With this new patch, there'll also be a VPY helping those of you thinking about coming back into the game. You also have the latest monument of Fishing Village, making it easier for you to go ahead and buy boats and explore the ocean. You know, these things will help out a lot when it comes to doing things like oil rig or even now with the actual cargo ship. They added fishing to the game. You're able now to fish and be able to get food from fishing or even exchange the fish for scrap, avoiding the full roads of PvP in order for you to acquire scrap and making this one of the easiest ways to be able to grab scrap. And with the tech tree being added to the game as well, you can now spend all of this scrap and learning new BPs for your wipe, making it a lot faster for you to get these explosive BPs to go on a raiding spree, and then no longer do you have to rely on the RNG gods and the search table in order for you to learn all of the BPs in the game. This making it another cool way of you being able to play Rust. Now, another cool feature, if you go to the Rust Discord, it has a tab to help you find a server with the specific monuments you desire in your map. I think this is a cool feature so you're not server surfing to find the perfect server for yourself. All these things and more are now in the Rust console, making it a lot more fun and enjoyable than it was about a year ago, and making it more stable for those OG players. So if you're thinking of playing Rust console on 2022, I say give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? You end up playing for hours and hours because you lost track of time. I always like to go back to this one great philosopher that said, time flies when you're having fun. This has been your host, BioLaser, and as always, have a great wipe.